A lot of these people who have these podcasts don't know what the they talking about. They don't actually have the experience. So they read up on it like nerds, not knowing what the lived experience is actually like.
Peeling away at all of the data, from the research I've done, and I could send you all the citations and all the references if you like. It seems that only about 1.5% of all custody cases ever actually make it to a judge. That the vast majority of these cases, approximately 90%, are 91%, and I could pull up the study for you if you like, are done away with before a judge has ever seen it. He's just doing it as a formal technicality. 80% of custody cases are settled by the parents without any outside assistance. Another 11% are settled with mediation, and another 5.2% of custody cases are decided upon by the parents after a custody evaluation is completed. Only 3.5% of cases are heard by a judge, and 2.2, this just goes down and down. And then basically what they found out is that when the fathers actually escalate the cases to the judge, they actually end up getting more custody, at the very least 50-50, a lot of times more than 50-50. When it's escalated to the point of going for it. The issue seems to be is that a lot of fathers don't escalate it legally. They just go for whatever's presented to them. They don't fight for the custody. And like I said, and no, this is speaking anecdotally, when men actually fight, they get it. The empirical evidence says that when men escalate, the further they escalate it legally, the more likely they are to get full or at least 50% custody.
Generally, and I don't want to tie myself down to the numbers, but generally that is true. And there's a great reason for that. And this is why it's important to be an expert in it and actually practice it. Sure. Because you won't understand the not talking about you, but just people in general won't understand what they're looking at. They won't understand why.
He's coming in and he's pouncing, and like he's pouncing hard. He's being a skilled attorney and he is pouncing hard, right? He comes in, they pounce, and then they end up making you look like a fool.
I have represented tons of men, tons of women over 20 years, and I have seen the destruction that takes place. Mm-hmm. Like no one has seen more men break down in tears while their kids get taken away, the equity in their home gets stolen, their retirement, their pension gets stolen by these judges. They have so much to lose. Women don't have these things to lose.
Yeah, we do. How can you say that a woman doesn't have equity in a house to lose?
I can say that because I've been practicing for 20 years.
But I know, but women also can make money. Like there could be marriages where the woman makes more money.
Listen, there are the LeBron James of women, mm-hmm. Right? But I'm not talking about these special cases. I'm talking about in general. If you want to sit here and tell me that women in general lose their kids, you're crazy.
No, but
of course they don't.
It's well, some women do if they're like alcohol abuse.
No, not in general. It's interesting, shout out to you guys. Y'all might not know who I am. I'm the lead attorney. I'm a 20-year divorce attorney down here in Atlanta, Georgia. My whole adult career, I've been dealing with these issues of parenting and divorce and alimony. So it's interesting to hear how you guys talk about it. Destiny, one of the things that I hear you, it seems that you're pretty persuasive when you talk about these studies and things like that. And I understand the impetus to really look for hard data when you talk about things. And generally, I think that's very important. But when you start talking about data for these types of issues, the reason why people get divorced, the reason why people have children, things of that nature, how many people cheat, when you rely on this self-reporting, it's amazing how unreliable the data is. And so I don't know if you can really quote any study that would be conclusive on these issues.
What do you think would be a better metric in your opinion?
Well, that's the issue, right? Because you certainly don't want to rely on anecdotal evidence, but relying on self-reported studies is crazy. I can tell you that as a 20-year attorney, having to talk to women and men about their relationships. You can ask somebody how much they make, and maybe they'll tell you the truth. Maybe if you have to look at their W-2s. Judges don't even believe people when they tell them how much they make. Like judges insist on taxes, insist on W-2s, insist on 1099s. So if you have these studies that don't insist on anything, like there's no reason to rely on those at all.
Then do we just make up whatever reason like fits like the YouTube channel narrative more, or what? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. Like we use self-reporting for like crime victimization is on self-reporting. Like we use self-reporting for a lot of studies in psychology. I guess do we just throw all of that out? I agree with you that there might be some limitations in the data, but I mean like if you do study after study after study and there's trend after trend after trend and you can't find like any other explanatory thing for why people report the things they do, I mean at some point it's like, okay, well self-reporting is kind of the only way to go forward other than stories.
I mean, you can say that self-reporting is the best that we have, but that doesn't mean that it's accurate at all. That doesn't mean that it's deserving to be relied upon. You can just say, hey, this is all we got. Back in 2000 BC, hey, religion, that's all we got. So we're going to rely on that and fine.
Well, to that
maybe
point,
there's this thing called gravity. Maybe there's this thing called, astrophysics. Maybe there are things going on that we don't know yet. And so that's what I'm telling you. Like judges don't even rely on the stuff that you guys are talking about. Not you guys, I'm talking about Destiny specifically with these studies.
Well, hold on. For me specifically, income was not, I don't actually know if it was self-reported. Are you saying that they're lying about their income on the studies?
Are they showing the scientists or the data collectors their W-2s and their taxes? Or are they telling them, do you make between 50 and 75,000? Do you make between 75,000 and 100? Are they just typing that into their keypad on their phone? Because
I mean, my guess is going to be it's self-reported, but like,
even we attorneys, we don't even believe our own fucking clients to be. I don't know.
Comparing an attorney to a study is a totally different thing, though, right? You're litigating
not, because it's all data collection.
No. It's not data collection. You're not collecting data as an attorney. You're getting specific information about a specific case.
That's data.
Right? Yeah, but
information.
But when you're trying to make a case, I don't know if you're a trial attorney or what, but like when you're trying to make a case in front of a judge and the judge is asking you like, did your client cheat on his wife? Like you would never respond to it. Well, 47% of clients do. No, of course not. You're doing like a case study. When you're doing like that's what an attorney does is case studies. Like the whole discovery process is collecting data about one particular case. Right. Or maybe you'll bring in an expert witness for random shit. But like it's not the same as like talking in a scientific manner or in a sociological manner about like here's like data across the society. So yeah, I would expect like a judge to be using more specific stuff where they're going to subpoena shit and everything, or they're going to have like more specific stuff to one case. But that's because you're arguing about one particular person, not an entire field.
Yeah, but the entire field is made up of each individual case study, if you want to call it that, Destiny. That's all data is. It's just a collection of individual case studies, if you want to call it that. That's all it is. Like you're elevating it to something higher than what it really is.
I think there's to defend Destiny. I think
I love relying on science. That's what we should rely on. My point, TFM, is that there are going to be certain areas where just the data is inconclusive. The data is not going to be there.
A lot of these people who have these podcasts don't know what the they talking about. They don't actually have the experience. So they read up on it like nerds, not knowing what the lived experience is actually like.
You don't have to answer that question.
I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!